There is solidity in solitude. This is a quote that I wrote in my very first book. If they want to, they gon' to. The Power to Choose. That's available on Amazon at the moment. But this had me thinking about it. There's solidity in solitude. We often look at people that are not in relationships or that are single. We look at them as being alone. We look at it as if it's a bad thing, as if they, something must be wrong with them because they weren't chosen, or why aren't they married? Why aren't they in a relationship? So is it a weakness that they have? Is it something mentally wrong with them that they keep running people off? Or why aren't they married? We put marriage on such a pedestal. And I have been guilty of that as well. I have been married. I've been divorced. I've been engaged. I've been unengaged. I've been in relationship. I've been single. So I have seen all aspects of a relationship. I have seen the benefits of building a solid relationship with myself. The thing with me that I've noticed, because I got married young. So when you're married, you kind of, especially if you get married young, you don't have the time nor the space nor the capacity to really dive into yourself, to really figure out who you are. You get lost in creating a life. You get lost in making sure that your spouse is happy. You get lost in just the day-to-day things that you have to do to maintain. And nothing's wrong with that, because marriage is a calling. Marriage is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing when two people can come together and support and rely on each other, and they can build together. You can get pretty far in life if you have someone that you're moving with, as long as you guys are moving in the same direction. So you can get pretty far in life with that support. You can, build beautiful things, build beautiful families, and all of that. So I love marriage. Marriage is a beautiful thing, but it is a calling. So maybe there's a time and a season for each stage. Maybe, at least for me, maybe there's a time for building that solidity in solitude. So solidity in solitude is when you're in solitude, when you're alone. That doesn't mean that you are alone. But when you're in solitude, you can become solid with yourself. You have time to get to know yourself. You have time to work on your projects. You have time to really master yourself. You have time to really think about your choices, think about your likes, think about your dislikes. You have time to build your personal power. So that solitude gives you personal power. That's not saying that you can't get that in marriage, but I do feel that it's a struggle to get that in marriage because your focus is not on you in marriage. Now there may become a stage where that can be a thing, in the latter years of marriage, maybe once responsibilities are low and kids are grown and out the home and all of that, when you're in your empty nest stage, maybe then. But during your single state, please don't look at it as something to be ashamed of. Don't look at it as something to shy away from. There is solidity in solitude. You become solid with yourself. You can become solid with the Lord. You can get to know Him and commune with Him and with Holy Spirit in a different way than you maybe ever could. Now, I do believe that each stage brings out a different need in you. So you get to know Him in a different way in each stage. When you're, in union, when you're in marriage, that brings out a different need in you. When you're in your singlehood, that brings out a different need in you. You yearn for the Lord. You learn for that communion. You learn for that closeness in a different way. You need it. That's not saying that you don't need it in marriage, because you always need it in every stage of your life. You always need it. But you definitely depend on Him when you're in your single state. And many people also look at that person as if they're not protected because they're in their single state. The thing that they don't understand is that you may have a little more protection because of your relationship with the Lord, because of your relationship with Holy Spirit. You may walk around with a little more protection than just that of a human. That's not saying that you don't need protection, you don't need to protect yourself, or that you don't need, the protection from another human. That's not saying that. But when you have divine protection, what's better than that? What can outweigh that? What can trump divine protection? So there is solidity in solitude if you see it that way. If you don't see it that way, you may need to pose the question when you're looking for relationships, when you're looking for marriage. Are you seeking dependency on someone? Or are you truly seeking love? Because I do think that we can mistake in love for a lot of things. We can mistake in love for lust. We can mistake in love for codependency. So are you hungry for codependency? And you may not even know that. You may not know that you just need somebody. It don't have to be anyone special, just somebody, just a warm body. Some people just need somebody, whomever that somebody is. Some people just need a warm body. But that's codependency. So before getting into that marriage, before getting into that next relationship, master self, master solitude. Because I feel like when we can appreciate solitude, when we can become all that we need to be, all who God needs us to be in that state, then when we link up with the right one, you just might be unstoppable at that point. You just might be unstoppable. Because when you link up with someone, once you can master solitude, you become a little more picky. You become your requirements, your pet peeves, your deal breakers become, in order to meet those, that person has got to be powerful themselves. They have to be powerful on their own as well. So when you have two powerful people to link up together, that's a force to be reckoned with. And that may be why it's so easy to get in difficult relationships. The enemy will use that sense of codependency. He will use that sense of lust. He will pervert it and pervert love and taint your eyes to see lust as love. Taint your eyes to see codependency as love. He will taint your eyes so that you can get entangled into these relationships and try to use those relationships as a form of distraction to delay your path for whatever God has given you the mission for, whatever your mission is. The enemy wants to delay it. And he uses relationships. He uses the guilt and the shame that the guilt and the shame is the residue left over from those failed relationships. You oftentimes, have guilt and shame after ending them because of the things that you dealt with, the things that you put up with, the things that you co-signed for even staying as long as you did. You have a residue of guilt and shame behind that. So now you have to heal from that. So that's a distraction because all of that time is focused on that other person versus you being in solitude and you focusing on self. You focusing on hearing Holy Spirit. You focusing on whatever the Lord needs you to do, needs you to complete. So solidity and solitude is more than just about being selfish. It's not selfish. It's actually genius. It's genius. You are trying to fine tune yourself to give the best of you, to become the best of you, to give to the Lord. And once you master that part of you, if the Lord see fits, if that desire is even still in your heart, because marriage is a calling. It's not something for you to do just because. It's not something for you to do just to fit in and just to, meet societal standards. That's the other thing that we have to stop trying to meet societal standards. Meet your godly standards. Meet that first. Because who's running society? Who makes society right? Society is changing every day. By societal standards, you should, become a doctor, a lawyer, have a white picket fence with one dog, one cat, um, 2 children, a husband or wife. The in-laws should all get along. Your siblings, you all should all get along. Those are societal standards. Those are the expected routes to take. So I guess I may just be a rebel because I'm kind of outside of societal standards in it pretty much every way possible. That's not saying that I don't see the importance of certain things. I do see the importance of certain things. But what does that mean? Okay, you get married. Okay, so what does that mean? What is that saying about you? Okay, you get you become a doctor. Okay, what does that say about you? You have 11 children with your husband, which I mean, those are great things. Those are beautiful things. Those are things to celebrate. But there is also solidity in solitude. So when you're in your solitude era, don't feel like that's a something to be ashamed of. Wear that with a badge of honor. And you honor your solitude by becoming the best you that you can be. That's the badge that you wear. The badge that you're wearing is becoming the best you that you can be. Get well acquainted with you. You may not know you as well as you think you do. So get very well acquainted with you so that when it is time for you to come into union, You are so solid in who you are that you will recognize when someone else is or is not solid with themselves. So that you won't go into a time waster relationship. So wear your solitude as a badge of honor. Treat it just as sacred as you would a marriage. Because at that point, when you're in solitude, you are married to yourself. You are married to Holy Spirit at that point. So treat your solitude just as sacred as you would a marriage. Don't allow just anyone into your sacred space. Don't overgive. Don't extend yourself out too much. Treat your solitude sacred because it is. There is solidity in solitude.